This was my goal physique when I first started, but here I was looking like this. Fast forward to 2023, and in over just a year, I went from struggling with love handles to getting much closer to my ideal body. Now, I don't know exactly what brought you here. Maybe you've been eating healthy, but those occasional snacks or takeaways are keeping your love handles in place. Perhaps you're recovering from something, or you just popped out of the womb like this. Either way, I can relate. I've been stuck with love handles even after trying endless workout plans, diet tricks, and supplements. So in this video, I'm sharing the one trick I've been neglecting that finally worked to melt away my love handles. This video is broken into 3 parts, and if you stick with this, I guarantee you'll start seeing changes without feeling frustrated or stuck. Early 2022, this was the first time I truly committed to getting rid of my love handles. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, how do I still have these when I'm doing everything right? But it wasn't until I made this one small change that things finally clicked. Life got busy, but I kept pushing, and what happened next surprised even me. My waistline tightened, my love handles disappeared, and my confidence grew. And the best part, I didn't have to give up all the things I love. When it comes to love handles, they're just like any other stubborn fat. They can and they will go away with the right approach. But it all starts with the most crucial step. You probably heard the phrase, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat, right? While that's true, a deficit alone isn't going to magically melt away your love handles overnight. In fact, the body tends to prioritize losing fat from other areas first, like your face, shoulders, chest, and arms, before it even touches the more stubborn areas like your waist. Let me tell you about my friend Archie. He first started like most people, his love handles and belly didn't seem to budge much. But if you look closely at his progress over the first few months, you'll notice that his face, chest, shoulders, and even his upper stomach started to tighten up. It wasn't until later in his journey after staying consistent that his love handles finally started to shrink. The key for Archie was patience and persistence. He just had to keep going, trusting the process, and eventually the fat in those stubborn areas started to disappear. This is why it's so important not to rush things. You need to maintain a calorie deficit that's not too extreme. One you can stick to month after month without feeling like you're about to collapse from exhaustion. A lot of people make the mistake of rushing the process. Sure, they might see some quick results at first, but they can't sustain the diet long enough for real fat loss to happen. And as soon as they give up, the weight comes right back. For most people, a good goal is to aim to lose about a pound of fat each week. To make that happen, you'll need to eat roughly 500 calories less than what your body burns each day. But if that feels too much, then take it even slower. It's better to go slow and steady than to push too hard and burn out. If you're curious about how many calories you should be eating, there are tools out there that can help you calculate a solid estimate of how many calories you need to lose fat. Even better, they can offer you a slower, more sustainable option, which can be much easier to stick with in the long run. And while the steps I'm about to show you can definitely speed up the process, remember this, you're not in a rush. It took years for your love handles to develop, so don't expect to lose them overnight. Be patient, trust the journey. The love handles, which nobody loves, will eventually go away. Let me tell you how lifting weights plays a huge role in getting rid of love handles, even though it doesn't seem like it would at first. You might think weightlifting is all about building muscle, but it actually helps in ways you wouldn't expect. First off, by building your upper back and shoulder muscles, you can create the illusion of a smaller waist. It's like a visual stick. When the muscles around your waist grow, your love handles start to look smaller and less obvious. So while the fat is still there, it becomes less noticeable as your physique starts to take shape. But that's just the start. If you don't lift weights while you're cutting calories, your body might start burning muscle instead of fat. And that's not what you want, because losing muscle messes with your metabolism, making it harder to keep the fat off in the future. Think about it. If you lose a lot of muscle during your diet, you're not only making it harder to lose weight, but you're also increasing the chances of gaining that fat back once you finish dieting. Lifting weights helps prevent this. It's your safeguard, ensuring that your body stays strong and lean as you lose fat. If your main focus right now is losing those love handles, you don't have to spend hours in the gym every week. Studies show that even just 3 to 6 hard sets per muscle group each week can be enough to maintain your muscle mass, especially for older individuals who might need to aim for the higher end of that range. So if you've been struggling to stay consistent or feeling overwhelmed by the idea of hitting the gym 5 or 6 times a week, it's okay to dial it back. However, consistency is very, very important. Try not to skip any sessions when you don't feel like it. A slower session is much better than no session. Alright, let's talk about step 3, lifting weights. Lifting weights is amazing for building muscle, no doubt about it. But when it comes to burning calories, well, there's a bit of a downside. Studies have shown that women burn an average of about 1.7 calories per minute lifting weights, and for men it's around 3 calories per minute. That means if you're working out for an hour, you're burning somewhere between 70 and 200 calories. Sure, if you're a bigger or stronger individual, you might burn a little more, but it's not the most efficient way to shed calories. Now, let's compare that to something like jogging or cycling. These activities can burn anywhere from 10 to 20 calories per minute depending on your weight. So you could burn the same number of calories you would in an hour-long weightlifting session in just 10 to 15 minutes of moderate intensity cardio. That's a pretty big difference. And why does this matter? Well, it all ties back to the importance of creating a calorie deficit. Sure, most of that deficit will come from your diet, but exercise is also a key player. Lifting weights helps, but cardio is where you're really going to see those extra calories being burned. I know cardio can sound like a nightmare to some people, but it doesn't have to be grueling or exhausting. In fact, I'll show you a simple, effective cardio routine that you can start right away. But before we get into that, let's talk about why most people actually need cardio in the first place. Some lucky individuals can get really lean and lose their love handles without any cardio at all. But typically, these are people who are already super active, on their feet all day, moving around. Let me give you some perspective. Someone who sits at a desk all day burns nearly 700 calories less per day than someone with a job that keeps them active and on their feet. So if you have a more sedentary lifestyle, you'll probably need to eat a pretty low number of calories to lose fat. And as you get closer to shedding those stubborn love handles, that calorie target is only going to get lower. But here's the catch. Cardio can help you out here. And it doesn't just burn calories. One of the unique benefits of cardio is that it helps reduce visceral fat, the dangerous fat stored deep in your belly. Not only does that improve your overall health, but it can also help slim down your waistline. But as with your diet, you've got to approach cardio in a way that's sustainable. You don't need to be sprinting every day or forcing yourself to do exercises you hate. Start with walking. Track how many steps you're taking each day, and then try to add 2,000 more steps. Once you've nailed that, bump it up again until you're hitting around 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. That alone will have a huge impact on your daily calorie burn, and it might be all you need. If you want to add more, consider doing some low to moderate intensity cardio that you can actually enjoy. Seriously, don't force yourself to run if you hate it. Find something that makes you want to move, whether it's cycling, swimming, or even playing spike ball. One of my friends, Cam, struggled with his love handles for a long time, but finally started seeing progress when he added just 20 to 30 minutes of incline walking after his workouts. He also took longer walks with his dog, and that combo made all the difference for him. So start small. Aim for 15 to 20 minutes of cardio 2 to 3 times a week, and find something you enjoy. From there, you can decide if you need to ramp it up as you go. And don't worry, in the next step, I'll show you how to fine-tune this even further. Alright, now the plan I'm giving you so far will work wonders if you stick to it. But chances are, at some point, you'll get stuck. So, watch this video next. I'll break down how I wasted 2 years trying to lose my body fat and what will work for you.